So I know I've said before that boxing is a different sport, and that MMA, it's like MMA fighters say they could box real well, but it's not like boxing is a lot more in it, than what meets the eye. There's a lot of technical skill you got to know. There's a huge rule changing between MMA and boxing. You got to get used to that. So it's definitely not easy for an MMA guy to transition into boxing like that and become some crazy pro star. But with that being said, I feel like Ilya handles Ryan. I do. The height differential wouldn't really matter much because nobody's kicking, so you still got to use your hands and your arms to meet your targets. So that doesn't really create that much of a disadvantage for Ilya. And I feel like what Ryan primarily brings to boxing, and I mean this with the utmost respect for the boxer that Ryan Garcia is. I feel like Ryan is just a power puncher. He's got power, and that's about it. The technical skill is there enough for him to maintain his status as a star, but anything more than that, I feel like he's just got to build more technique. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to overly beat down on Ryan. I just feel like Ilya, looking at his boxing, is more technical than Ryan, and it's that technique that makes me feel like Ilya would win in a boxing match with Ryan. Mind you, to prepare Ilya, I'm assuming Ilya would need like a good year to 2 years. That's like I'm talking about this fight, assuming that Ilya is going to get a year to 2 years to train for it. If he doesn't, then yeah, Ryan wins. But Ilya's got to get adjusted to the rule change, to the technique differential, and just to remastering a fighting style that he kind of, already is pretty much mastered. He looks really great as a boxer in his previous UFC fights. But like I said, boxing is still a different sport that you gotta properly get ready for. And I feel like with proper preparation, a year to 2 years, I think Ilya handles Ryan. And I don't feel like it's that ridiculous to say. I'm sure there are a lot of boxing fans who will want to, punch their screen right now listening to what I'm saying. But like I said, just looking at Ryan, how he fights, it seems like he just relies on those powerful hooks. And if those don't work, oh well, and that's about it. Um, Ilya is very dynamic, very tight with his boxing, his defense, his offense. The combos he throws are just absolutely beautiful to watch. I got Ilya. Let me know what you think.